Number 1. The Tunguska Event. On June 30, 1908, a colossal explosion, equivalent to 1,000 atomic bombs, occurred over Tunguska in Siberia. This destructive force leveled an 800-square-mile area of forest, felling approximately 80 million trees. Yet, strangely, no impact crater was ever found.
Eyewitnesses reported seeing a massive fireball hurtling through the sky, followed by powerful shockwaves that shattered windows at great distances. Scientists eventually concluded that the responsible object was likely a fragment of an asteroid or a comet that exploded high in the atmosphere before touching the ground.
Due to the remote location, investigations did not begin until decades later, and by then, only charred trees and survivor accounts were recovered. No definitive meteoritic fragments were ever found, which leaves the exact cause of the event disputed to this day.
Possible explanations range from it being a rocky asteroid that disintegrated in the air or an icy comet that left little physical trace.
Less likely theories include an explosion of volcanic gas or even extraterrestrial technology. The enigma of Tunguska lies in it being a catastrophe that should have left clear geological evidence, but instead left the impression of a massive, sudden vanishing.
Scientists continue to study this event, not only to understand its details, but also to prepare for similar future occurrences.
Number 2. The mystery of dark matter. Currently, everything visible in the universe, from stars, planets, and galaxies down to ourselves, accounts for less than 5% of its total composition. The vast majority remains invisible. About 27% of it is what we call dark matter, while dark energy constitutes the largest proportion at roughly 68%. Dark matter is characterized by the fact that it does not emit, reflect, or even interact with light, yet it possesses a huge gravitational influence. Its effect is critical. Without it, galaxies would essentially disintegrate and their movement would scatter. Scientists only realized its existence in the 20th century when they noticed the abnormally high speed at which stars on the outskirts of galaxies were moving.
There was a kind of hidden attractor acting as an invisible glue binding them together. Astronomical calculations were impossible to reconcile without postulating the existence of a massive, hidden source of mass, which later became known as dark matter. Here lies the most perplexing part. Despite decades of research, the composition of dark matter remains a mystery. It might be composed of yet-to-be-discovered particles, perhaps primordial black holes, or even something that lies beyond the scope of currently known physics. Complex experiments are conducted deep underground, shielded from cosmic radiation, in an attempt to detect its faintest interaction. The matter becomes even stranger. The fact that dark matter alone constitutes a quarter of the universe's content means that we are unaware of the true composition of most of our reality. Dark matter is considered the greatest cosmic enigma, as it essentially redefines the extent of our ignorance about the universe we inhabit.
Number 3. The Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines are geoglyphs spread across the vast Peruvian desert, consisting of massive earth drawings deeply etched into the arid landscape. These enormous figures vary from simple geometric shapes, such as straight lines and spiral circles, to gigantic animal drawings like the monkey, the spider, and the hummingbird, in addition to a figure resembling an astronaut. The strangest feature is that these works are not clearly visible except when viewed from a high altitude. These lines were created by the Nazca people between 500 BCE and 500 CE, but their purpose remains shrouded in mystery. Some researchers tend to regard them as astronomical calendars or markers related to the movement of stars. However, this interpretation does not fully explain the precision of some artistic drawings or the presence of animals that have no direct connection to the desert environment.
One of the most perplexing aspects is how these gigantic figures were drawn without an aerial view. Did they rely on advanced surveying techniques using stakes and ropes? Did they construct towering observation platforms? Or did they even experiment with rudimentary flight methods like balloons to review their work? We do not have definitive answers. What is certain is that their completion required an enormous amount of planning, coordination, and deep cultural value, which was not documented in writing. In addition to scientific theories, unconventional hypotheses emerge, speaking of landing strips for spacecraft or signals directed at celestial beings. Although archaeologists completely dismiss these explanations, the remaining truth is that we still do not know the real motive. It is worth noting that modern surveying technologies, like drones and artificial intelligence, have enabled the discovery of hundreds of new geoglyphs in recent years. In conclusion, the Nazca Lines remain one of the greatest historical mysteries that astonish the world. They are proof of the ability of ancient civilizations to create works of art of extreme scale and strangeness, prompting us to contemplate them centuries later, searching for the hidden meaning.
Number 4. The Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript truly deserves the title of the world's most mysterious book. Discovered by a rare book dealer in 1912, it is a codex of about 240 pages inscribed in a unique script that cannot be deciphered. The manuscript's characters do not match any known alphabet, yet they follow remarkably consistent linguistic patterns and structures, which negates the possibility of randomness. Recent script analysis confirms that the work was done by at least 5 different scribes, supporting the hypothesis of it being a genuine writing system or an innovative cipher that was taught. It appears to be an entirely invented language, unseen before or since.
The illustrations only deepen the mystery and offer no clarification, depicting unparalleled plants in nature and strange astronomical diagrams. It is clearly divided into specialized sections, such as herbs, astronomy, and pharmacology, giving the impression that the author or authors sought to describe a strange universe or world that is not our own, perhaps in the context of a scientific or medical guide. Extensive attempts to crack its code have been made by World War II cryptographers, modern artificial intelligence programs, and linguistic experts, but all have failed. The book stubbornly holds on to its secrets. Some believe it is an elaborate medieval hoax designed to lure a wealthy buyer, but this raises the question, what was the motivation behind inventing an entire language and recruiting multiple scribes merely for a scam? Other hypotheses suggest it is an alchemical treatise or a mystical cleric's work aimed at encoding secret knowledge.
Some propose it might be the result of automatic writing under a trance state, hypnosis. Rumors suggesting its origin might transcend human origins cannot be excluded. Carbon dating indicates the manuscript dates back to the early 15th century, and the analysis of the inks and pigments confirmed their consistency with this era, 1404 to 1438 AD, proving its material authenticity and ruling out it being a modern forgery. These facts have made this a 6th-century-old intractable enigma. Every page hints at containing crucial information in the fields of medicine, astronomy, or perhaps philosophy. But until efforts succeed in reading what is written, the Voynich manuscript will remain literature's most frustrating puzzle, meanings that loom on the horizon, yet remain out of reach.
Number 5. The Antikythera mechanism. In 1901, sponge divers off the coast of a small Greek island discovered what initially appeared to be a discarded bronze fragment. Decades later, researchers realized the extraordinary value of this discovery, which became known as the Antikythera mechanism. This corroded box contained a complex arrangement of precisely engineered gears capable of accurately modeling the movements of the Sun, Moon, and the then-known planets, including Venus and Saturn. Due to its complexity, many call it the world's oldest analog computer. By simply turning a handle, the user could predict eclipses, determine the course of lunar cycles, and set the dates for the ancient Olympic Games, relying on a specific Greek lunar solar calendar. The construction of this device dates back over 2 millennia, and it took medieval clockmakers over 1,000 years to achieve a similar level of engineering sophistication, especially the use of differential gearing. It was far more than just a calendar tool.
The most critical question remains the identity of the device's original designer and how the technological knowledge that led to its production vanished. Despite references in ancient texts to machines that mimic the heavens, the mechanism stands out as a unique exemplar with no equal from that period, reinforcing the hypothesis of a lost tradition of advanced craftsmanship. Modern X-ray studies reveal tiny inscriptions explaining its operation, like instructions etched in bronze. These examinations indicate that the mechanism comprised at least 37 gears, housed within a small wooden box. However, instead of preserving this genius, the device sank with its ship, and its brilliance remained forgotten for centuries. The Antikythera mechanism is tangible proof that ancient civilizations sometimes reached levels of innovation that exceed our full understanding, leaving us with a singular artifact that seems like a bridge between history and science fiction.